Hi, I'm Charlotte Donlon, and I'm back with another installment of Behind the Scenes with the Great Belonging, How Loneliness Leads Us to Each Other. Chapter 12 is called Linger and Listen, and it's a short chapter about a very specific experience I had where I felt very lonely and different and othered. And I write about that experience and how I kind of came out of that and saw that, I don't know, just a few different things that loneliness had to teach me. So, you know, I kind of took the experience that made me feel lonely. What's the word I'm trying to think of? Like it wasn't necessarily as true as I thought it was. Like I assumed the worst about the situation because of, you know, fear and some other things. So I write about that and how I kind of came out of it and what I learned from that experience. I also reference some writing that Lauren Winner has done on loneliness in her book, Still, Still, in case you couldn't tell what I said because of my Southern accent. She has 2 short chapters specifically about loneliness, I think, in that book, maybe 3. So I quote that a little bit and write about my experience of intense loneliness. So while I'm on the topic of Still by Lauren Winner, I will say that Lauren's books have helped me feel a lot less alone as a writer and as a Christian. She's one of the writers who helped me realize I could write about my faith in ways that were authentic and real and a little more literary than a lot of the books out there that explore topics related to the Christian faith. So, I mean, some other writers who've done that for me are Anne Lamott and Frederick Buechner and Kathleen Norris and Annie Dillard. There are others. I should probably make a list and be able to say more. But just the idea of how books that we read help us find ourselves, belong to other people, know we aren't alone in the world, and just as writers, reading helps us become better writers. Like, I don't see how you can be a writer and not read. When I hear about people who write but don't read, it kind of makes me question what's going on there. And maybe people just feel like they're too busy to read or whatever. I hosted a 4-hour retreat this morning, and I only had one participant, but it was really good. I already know her. She was an existing client or a former client for one-on-one spiritual direction, and she's had a really busy few months and hasn't written very much and hasn't read very much. And we did spend some time reading this gorgeous essay and talking about it, and then we transitioned into doing some writing, a chunk of time to write. And I really think the reading before the writing helped her enter into that piece or return to the piece that she had been working on several months ago and was able to return to and write some more. And she just talked about how she enjoyed reading and hadn't done it in a long time. So anyway, writers write and writers read. So if you are a writer and you don't read a whole lot, or if you're a reader and want to write, you should try that too, because most writers I know, or many writers I know, fell in love with writing because they fell in love with books first. So anyway, that's enough about that. That is chapter 12 from The Great Belonging, or that's not chapter 12, that's Behind the Scenes with The Great Belonging for chapter 12. You can find me at charlottedonlon.com and ourfaithinwriting.com. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Charlotte Donlon, although the best of what I offer is not on social media. You can find out more about my spiritual direction offerings and my podcast that explores art and faith and writing at ourfaithinwriting.com. Links are below or around here somewhere, I think below. If The Great Belonging looks like a book or sounds like a book that you might be interested in and you're wanting to explore different angles of belonging and loneliness, I hope you pick up a copy wherever you buy books. You can also check it out from your library, and if your library doesn't carry it, you can ask them to carry it, and then you can check it out for free. If you do buy the book, you can give it to a friend who might like it after you're finished with it. Or you can just keep watching these videos and hopefully feel less alone through that too. All right, thanks again for watching. I will be back next time with a little bit of thoughts and ramblings on chapter 13, which is a chapter about how our senses help us, or engaging with our senses help us feel less alone. Thanks.